Then this was the one I laughed. I frustrated many coaches, he said. Many of them end up saying things like, you don't have goals, you don't have dreams. And I was like, okay.
Jonathan Chan.
Jonathan Chan.
Very compact and tidy from Jonathan Chan of Singapore.
They give me 10k a month, I'll come back.
What's life like after retiring from competitive diving?
Sure.
Yeah. Usually, how is it scored like?
The harder the dive, the bigger the multipliers. Even if, let's say, two people make the same dive, but one person makes it look easier, the person who makes it look easier will definitely score higher.
And he's also the first ever Singaporean diver to qualify for the Summer Games.
What does it mean to you to be the first ever?
Pressure
I mean, I've always heard about the Olympic Village and stuff, but how's the experience like there?
was really just the food. We were just eating non-stop.
First Olympics, first Singaporean diver, having his final year at university as well. If it wasn't your final year, right, do you think it would be better?
Well, I mean, I guess I know I'm not at the standard where I can win. Like, there's no medal chance. So, whether that make a difference?
You landed on your back during a training session while preparing for YOG, rushed to hospital, pneumothorax, your lungs had air bubbles and stuff. What were you thinking at that moment in time, and how do you overcome it?
I mean, the fear was there, but I think
why not we start by introducing yourself? Like, introducing, what do you do? What's your name?
okay, so I'm Jonathan. I used to be an ex-national diver. Studied architecture, now not doing architecture. Just trying to find out what I want to do in life before I settle down on a job. Yeah.
That's nice. So, I mean, wait. So when have you stopped diving?
I
Completely?
stopped, essentially, yeah. Like, I'm not training anymore lah.
Yeah.
And then it's not a sport where you can really do recreationally. But like occasionally when you go back, like I'll just jump on the trampoline a bit, jump on the board a bit, kind of thing, but not like compete.
But what was your last competition?
Last time was 2022 SEA Games, I think, in Vietnam.
I think so.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I think Vietnam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice. So what was life like, after retiring from competitive diving?
Sure.
Yeah. That's good.
A lot more free time. A lot more doing things that I didn't get to do, I guess, when I was training, like hanging out with friends, like going out doing like activities that I want to do, like skating, playing different sports. That's one thing, yeah.
That's good. I mean, you should never experience such an extended break before, right? Wait, so how old are you?
This year I'm 27.
27, okay, we're the same
Yes.
age.
1997
Exactly.
97 babies.
Yeah, that's good. So, okay, let me dive straight into it. So, how did diving all begin, like, for you?
So it started actually because of the 2010 YOG. I was in gymnastics before. Then when the YOG came to Singapore, there was diving, and then because we were the host, there were actually slots for Singapore to so-called auto qualify to compete. But then at that point in time, there was no diving in Singapore, so they didn't really have anyone. So just from there, they decided to go to find gymnasts who were willing to swap over to like get a competition ready list in like a year. So for that one, actually, I wasn't within the age range, but my sister was. So that's how like I got introduced to it because she was going for it, and then my parents were like, "Oh, Yan, just go and try something new," kind of thing. So then that's how I started. I ended up going for the 2014 YOG in China.
That's nice. Was it a big difference, like, between gymnastics and diving? And that transition, was it scary back then?
Yes and no. I think like the flipping part is the same, but I guess the major difference was like how you land. So like I mean for gym you obviously have to land on your legs so that you can continue flipping, and then for diving you have to land on your head. So the transition for me for that one actually took quite a while. I think I took like almost a month plus to get used to landing on my head. Then but other than that, because it was something new, it was definitely more fun than gym. Because at that point in time, I think I was in gym for almost, remember, like 5 years. Then I think like not really going anywhere, so a bit sian. So then when something new came out, then like can push a bit more, learn more things, then it was a bit more exciting.
That's nice. Your journey so far has been remarkable. First ever Singaporean diver to qualify for an Olympic Games. I mean, what does it mean to you to be the first ever to represent our country, Singapore, a little red dot, at the Olympic Games in diving. I mean, that's a trailblazer.
I think I think it didn't really sink in at the point when I did qualify. If anything, like the first reaction was like pressure because now uh people were finding out about me in that sense, because before that it's like we always just do our own thing. Diving is not like a main sport in Singapore. Then only because like after I qualified, suddenly all the news coverage was like happening, and I was like, now now there's like pressure to perform because there are more eyes on it. Yeah,
Yeah,
but it's always nice to be able to compete for your country. It's not something that everyone can say they have done.
definitely. So at the Tokyo Olympics, what that was during COVID, right?
Yeah, during COVID.
Okay, walk me through your experience. I mean,
Uh,
any memorable moments, highlights.
yeah, I mean, like we have nothing to compare with in that sense, but like a lot of people are saying that it was a lot more restricted just because like we couldn't travel out. So from like other major games, sometimes they do cater like tour buses and stuff for us to go and see the sights, enjoy the country. But then because of COVID, we were all kept within the village. So that was like one difference. But I think like the main highlight between like me and like my friend who went with me, Frida, um, was really just the food. We were just eating non-stop. And then a lot of my friends who were following like my Instagram or whatever, they were just saying,
Yeah.
I don't even know whether you're there to compete or you're just there to eat.
Oh my gosh. And wait, so but you get to meet other athletes,
Of
or was
course,
there
of
like
course.
restrictions?
We can meet other athletes. The only restrictions, sports wise, was that we only could go to our own competition venue. We couldn't
Mhm.
cross. So like I cannot go watch track, but I can watch, let's say, swimming, or I can watch water polo because it's like at the same space.
I see,
Yeah.
I see. Oh, then was there like a television in the village in your room or?
Yes, yes. There's always like live stream, so we'll be
Alright.
watching whoever's competing lah.
Yeah, and how's the village? I mean, I've always heard about the Olympic Village and stuff, but how's the experience like there?
I mean, it's not super different from like other major games.
Uh-huh.
Cause like like we go for Asian Games, SEA Games, that kind. That is definitely bigger because it's international, not just not say like just Asia side or like Commonwealth. This one is really like everywhere, so bigger. Uh, everyone is just taller because like, I mean, as like divers, you're already slightly shorter.
Yeah.
Slash divers slash Asian, so we're on the shorter side already. So when you walk past like, all the angmos, they're like towering over you, and then they're like huge, bulky people
Yeah.
just walking all around the village lah. So you
Yeah.
really just see all like the different types of in a way body types, because like depending on your sport, like everyone's like body is different slightly.
But in diving, is height does height play a significant part?
I think it does play a part to a certain extent. That's like smaller just spin faster lah. And there are some really tall divers which makes their dives look very nice. Just that you can see that the speed that they're spinning at is definitely like slower. So it does play a part lah.
Hmm. And usually, how is it scored? Like, it's scored based on. I mean, I know nothing about diving. I have to confess. So from what I've heard growing up, it's usually how much water bubbles is it coming out from the pool?
The splash.
And the turns or the techniques and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
There's a few factors, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, splash is like the most layman thing that we look at in terms of like, if you really don't know the sport, that is like one main factor that you can easily spot. I think other than that, the spins and everything actually give you like a degree of difficulty. So like the height, and then that is a like multiplier. So the harder the dive, the higher, the bigger the multiplier. So then whatever score you get, you can get a higher score lah. Just that the risk is that if you do a harder dive, there's a higher chance that you will not dive as well. So then there's like where you have to weigh, when do I do a safer dive with like a lower multiplier, or do I just like throw all in, and then and hope for the best. Yeah. So then other than like the splash and stuff, you also see like, like whether your legs are bent, whether like your toes are pointed, whether it looks nice. Essentially because it's an aesthetic sport. So even if let's say two people make the same dive, like the same exact dive, but one person makes it look easier, the person who makes it look easier will definitely score higher.
I see. Thanks for the
Yeah.
breakdown. And so how many dives do you usually get per competition?
6.
Okay, if you get 6, will they take the score from all 6?
Yeah, so it's a cumulative score.
Oh my gosh. So you can't afford to even mess up like 1 or 2.
Yeah, you can't.
I thought maybe they'll like aggregate it, or they'll take like the best 2 or the best 3.
No,
You have
no.
like 6 chances.
Correct.
Wow.
And then like each one is also like a different direction. So it's
Yeah.
like let's say forward, backward, inward, twist. So there's inward reverse, which is same as forward and backward, but you're facing the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then because we have to have like one of each dive, usually people will be better at some lah.
Yeah.
But you can't escape because like you have to do everything.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. You're at the Olympics, different level totally, right? I mean, the best of the best went there. And then what was it like? Like, walk me through your mind. Like how do you maintain focus? The resilience. I mean, do you feel pressure? I mean,
Oh, I definitely
obviously,
felt
right?
pressure. I definitely felt pressure. I feel like I think this time I felt more than like other international comps, just cause like more people knew about it and it's like more broadcasted. Because really like when we go for normal comps, family will know, teammates will know, and then maybe like your schoolmates who are like, let's say you're part of your project group will know, because like then they have to help you settle everything outside. So then that's the 3 main groups. But now it's like the whole nation were like, oh, we're gonna watch you, Then it's like friends of friends will also be like tuning in, parents, friends, like and like
Mhm.
you can't even sort of ignore it in that sense because like that everyone knows. Then that creates like more pressure.
And how do you cope with the pressure? Like, do you have any techniques or anything? Like, I don't know.
I don't think I have like specific techniques in terms of like a whole routine,
Mhm.
but it's more of like really just trying to uh, do or like repeat what I do at training. So like keep it as similar as possible in that sense, so that you don't suddenly like try something new. Because like when training, you're relaxed. Uh, if you try and like keep to whatever you're doing during training, then you'll also be slightly more relaxed when you do like the competition itself.
Cool.
Just a quick one. I remember back when I was younger, I was going through an incredibly tough period in my life where I had no one to talk to about my problems. There was no place I could share my honest thoughts and feelings because I was just so afraid of being judged by people. And I realized that was so bad for my mental well-being. It's like bottling up everything and just waiting for a day where it all explodes. So no, we're not gonna let that happen for you. Because my team and I have developed a free social app called huddle.so where you can share all your problems anonymously, whatever is currently on your mind that's bothering you, whatever is making you upset or giving you sleepless nights. This is a non-toxic app where you can just be yourself, heal, and make many wholesome friends that will be there for you to support you during difficult times. The app is currently available on iOS at the moment, so good news for iPhone users. But we are working really hard to get an Android version out as soon as we can, so we don't miss out on the rest of you. So trust me, download the app, give it a shot, and I guarantee you that your future you will thank you for taking care of yourself. I'll put the link in the description below as well, and I'll see you in Harvest.
I saw the articles, right?
Which ones?
Quite a few, man. Actually, there's quite a few. And you were having uni back then, right? Was it a
Yeah.
final? Was it a final year?
It was my final year.
Goodness. And I mean, first Olympics, first Singaporean diver having his final year at university as well. Final SEM, I know exams. Do you think? I mean, it's not good really to look back, but if it wasn't your final year, right? Do you think it would be better? Or
I think possibly it could have been better, but it wouldn't have made much difference in that sense. Because like I mean for me going in, well, I mean I guess I know I'm not at the standard where I can win. Like there's no medal chance. So whether that make a difference, like in terms of medaling, it wouldn't have made a difference. But maybe in terms of positioning and where I was at, possibly maybe plus minus 5, that kind, like positions. Yeah, so not really lah.
Got it. I mean, I just imagine it must be really stressful. I mean, to go through a final sem at university, wow,
I
at
think
the
one of
highest level.
the big stressing points were like the admin that I needed to do. Like,
Oh yeah,
okay, I need to finish this before I go, or this one I need to delegate to my friends to help me do, or like this one is like when I'm there, cut me some slack, then to myself settle
yeah,
everything just so that when I'm there itself, I don't need to think so much.
definitely. You definitely want to keep your mind off the studies.
Yeah,
There's definitely a lot of admin work and stuff.
yeah.
I can totally imagine. So okay, another one. I saw an article, and this one actually made me laugh. And not like I don't know why I laughed, but it was pretty. It's quite funny to me. So okay, let me read it out. Okay. So
Okay.
I don't know which website I took it from, but it's definitely from mainstream media. So during the interview, Chan did not come across as your archetypal high performance athlete. He describes his diet, for instance, as mostly healthy with the occasional bubble tea and chips. Going with the flow has always been his mantra, admitting that his previous coaches' aspirations for him have largely flown over his head. Then this was the one I laughed. I frustrated many coaches, he said. Many of them end up saying things like, "You don't have goals, you don't have dreams." And I was like, okay. Really, I don't laugh much at articles, but this one really, that paragraph, I burst out laughing. So hey, what we true? Like, I mean, you, even though you don't conform like to the traditional super high performance athlete,
Mm.
you have achieved so much success. And I mean, okay, firstly, how do you define success personally? And when you say like your coaches were frustrated, walk me through like that those experiences.
Okay, I would say, I think the way I guess define success is really just improving every day.
Mm-hmm.
I think baseline, like I mean, as long as you keep improving, I think that means you're successful. Like you don't stagnate. Yeah. So I like that. I in itself was, I guess, how I frustrated coaches because for me at the start, like when I started, I mean, Olympics wasn't really like on the like as a big goal, like long term goal. Just cause like we were just starting out, and then I really just cannot imagine me getting to that stage because it's so far away. I'll put it as like I was primary school, and then Olympics is like university, and then you're like, you're gonna go uni, and then I'm just like, I can't even imagine what uni is like, right, at that point in time.
Mm.
So I always be like, no lah, no, I cannot one, it's like that's too far away. So they were always just sort of, oh, okay, like don't really know what to say. Then I know there was one coach who sort of really tried to force us to have goals, which is not wrong, just that I guess it came across a bit aggressive. So he had talked with all of us, and then after the whole talk, he was like, okay, so what are your goals? Like he went one by one. So then like my other teammates were like, oh yeah, Olympics, that kind of thing. Then when it came to me, I was like, I want to get better. Like I want to improve every day. Like that's all. Then he went on to other people, and then after everyone said already, he pointed to those who said Olympics. He's like, okay, that's fine. The rest not fine. I'm gonna ask you again, what's your goal? So obviously he's trying to force us to say like, oh, Olympics is our goal, right? And I just looked at him, I was damn stubborn lah. Then I was like, I want to improve. So then you could tell he was like frustrated, but he also, you can't force me to say, but I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, no, that's good. I mean, different people have different views towards success, and no, I really like that train of thought. Like, I mean, the gym they call it progressive overload, right? As long as you're improving,
Mm,
better each day, definitely your results will improve. For some other people, they want it to be more concrete, in terms of vision, to have that north star to guide you, like to spell it out into words
yeah.
very explicitly. But I don't know. I just find your journey truly very interesting. I mean, I've spoken to a lot of athletes. Yours is pretty chill, pretty cool.
I think
And
I
yeah,
think that's why I guess like whatever you read just now was like I say like I quite go with the flow.
yeah,
Just cause like I don't see it as in a way an end goal, but like it's more of like I take opportunities as it comes. So, like, cause I never know, like, let's say touch wood, like get injured while you're training. Then if the injury is bad enough or something, then you cannot, like maybe the end goal will be not feasible anymore. So then you have to sort of like re-figure out, replan. So like to me, having that such concrete plan in a way is a waste of time if it doesn't go according to plan. So then it's more of like I see what I have in front of me and then like I change my so-called plan accordingly to like what I have. Yeah.
definitely get what you mean. Like taking it as it comes, progressing
Mm.
each day, and then adapt accordingly. So no, that's beautiful. I really like that. Family support, very instrumental in an athlete's career. And also, you mentioned before that your parents did not put any pressure on you. How do you think like your parents' encouragement, their understanding, shaped you as an athlete and helped you in your career?
I think not say that they didn't pressure. Okay, they didn't pressure in terms of like you have to get results, but they definitely pressured in a way where they said like stick to it even when like the going gets tough, kind. Yeah, but also because of the fact that they don't push too hard, a lot of it like you start to take a lot of ownership of it. So then it becomes like I am doing the sport because I chose to, as opposed to I'm doing the sport because I'm forced to. And then like that also helps to sort of stick to it a bit more
Mm-hmm.
because like even when it gets tough, it's not like like see it's so hard then I start blaming someone else because like they forced me into it. It's like it's so hard but I chose it so I have to suck it up. you know? Yeah.
Definitely. But what do you think in terms? I mean, say if you're a parent, you had a child, like pressure, versus more of I say laid back approach or more value based approach. What are your thoughts about that? Like, how would you a child in sport? How would you approach that?
I think I'll let the child decide just cause like once they actually do decide on something, um, they will probably stick to it. Like because it's their own choice. So like
Mm.
maybe I put them into gym and then they hate gym. But like after gym they find something that they do like and then they choose to do it. So like me choosing diving or like them choosing like track and field or something. But because they choose it, there's a higher chance that they will stick to it rather than me forcing them into like a different sport.
Mm. No, that makes sense, definitely. Okay, so I want to talk a bit about a setback, right? So I also saw in an article that you had an injury quite some time back, right? I think almost a decade ago, and
Mm.
you landed on your back during a training session while preparing for YOG. Rushed to the hospital, pneumothorax. Your lungs had air bubbles and stuff.
Mm.
What were you thinking at that moment in time, and how do you overcome it at such a young age? I mean, it must have been scary, man.
I mean, the fear was there, but I think one thing I guess that helped was that I never did a dive again, so I didn't really have to so-called overcome that fear. but
Yeah.
for me, I think because like I wasn't like the so-called like hardcore um athlete, right? In the sense that like I need to train, like I want to train, I have to train. Uh, when I had an injury and they told me that I had to take a break, I was like, okay, time to focus on school. So it wasn't so much like a setback as like now my focus can go elsewhere. Yeah.
So how long were you out for?
I think it's out for 2 months plus, almost 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah, but I also strong believer of like recover first, then like go back into training 100%. Which is why compared to like my teammates, I would say I am the most injury free lah. Other than like the big ones, but that one's like out of control. Like more of like let's say I strain my leg. Like the moment I feel the strain, I will take maybe 3 days off. But
Yeah.
my teammates will be like, oh, I just do other things or I just do lighter. So sometimes it will drag longer just cause
Yeah.
they don't give it rest. Then you
Yeah.
also have to be very stubborn lah because sometimes coaches will be like, oh, just try a bit, just try a bit. So for me, it's like the moment I know something is up, I won't bother coming to training. I'll just be like, because if I come to training, I'll get pressured, right, by the coach to do
Yeah.
something. So I'll just be like, okay, bye. Then I just disappear for like 3 days.
No, I know, no, that's good. I think I'm also an advocate of recover first. Because who knows, man, you might strain something else
Yeah.
while doing
Correct.
a lighter work, and you don't want that. Sometimes it has long-term repercussions, and definitely health comes first, always. And yeah, but I can imagine like landing on your back. I mean, so you never done that specific dive again?
Never, never.
Would it have helped you score more points at the Olympics?
No, so I swapped it out for like a different harder dive.
I see. Okay. So I mean, I can imagine how pain it is. I mean, when I was back then when I was studying in Australia, I used to go like waterfalls and stuff, and then
Okay.
back in my like couple of years ago when I was still young and reckless, I would jump off the cliffs. I
How
think
high are those higher than the platform?
man, I don't even know, man. I can't even maybe. Oh, I can't give you a range of meter, man, but it was pretty damn high. It was like jumping off probably like a HDB block, man. Is that too much? But anyways, my first jump, I landed on my back as well.
Oh shit.
That was my first jump.
Then how?
I never jumped again. All I know was, growing up, I was in competitive swimming, right?
Okay.
And I would always look at the divers and think, wow, I was in awe, like I would be in admiration, like,
At,
wow.
at Toa Payoh,
Yeah. I always I see
okay.
at Toa Payoh, and yeah, I think and the diving board so high, and I was thinking I can never do that. And I would always be, wow, those people, they're so cool. And when I done it myself, I'm not like a skill based thing or anything, but landed on my back, my whole left leg, right leg, and my thighs. Um,
Bruce.
bruise, red, flesh come out, burning. I couldn't even walk properly after that. So yeah, I have a lot of respect for divers. I mean, I don't know how you guys overcome that fear. I think probably from a young age or something.
No, I mean we're still scared when we go there. We just like sort of get used to it.
I see.
Yeah.
And then I saw you also. You were is it synchronized diving with this
Oh,
young
yeah.
young.
Yeah.
What's his name and how old
Max.
is he?
He's 10
Max,
years
yeah?
younger.
Yeah. And I was, that was pretty cool. I didn't know they allow like such a disparity in age range to compete
I
together.
don't think they really care. Yeah.
Mhm.
Because if you think about it, like if the person is so young, they have like so-called disadvantage of like lesser years of training, right? So
Mhm.
so it's really up to you lah. Up to the country law.
But it also depends on the sport, right? Like some sports have like under 18s, under 21s.
Yeah, I think some do. I think ours was 13 and below cannot. So he was like just nice when we first competed together, I think.
I see. And you're just like being a big role model and like a big brother. Like I saw the post, like you're very giving him like I saw a post where he was anxious or sometimes he's scared, and then you'll be there imparting your advice.
Is it?
Yeah, I don't know. I saw you, which was pretty sweet, I guess. But no, that's great. I like that. I will hope to see him at
Yeah,
future competitions as well.
he's competing now. He did SEA Games, he did World Champs. Didn't qualify this time, but aiming for the next one already, like LA.
That's great. Okay, let's talk something about outside of diving, right? So I mean, apart from the sport, what are your interests and hobbies?
Interests and hobbies. Now I actually try like a lot of different sports. I think, like I feel like I've tried like bouldering, tennis, badminton, rollerblading, squash. Those are like the active side. Then like not so active side, I also watch a lot of anime, watch a lot of
Mm.
reality TV, a lot of trashy shows. I'm binge watcher. I think last time I used to binge watch more just cause my body was tired, but my brain just like wanted to sit there and do nothing. But then I realized like after I stopped training, I cannot binge as hard as I used to.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's nice. So what was your favorite sport after diving?
Oh, that's a tough one. I feel like they all are different. But I think a big difference is how every other sport is slightly more interactive. Because like diving is a very personal in that sense sport.
Oh, yeah.
Because like you are so-called competing against yourself and you don't like play with anyone else. Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you mean. And wait, and you mentioned are you doing architecture or design?
I studied architecture, but
Oh,
not
design.
practicing lah.
Okay. So what are you looking to do?
Probably something design based. Haven't really found anything yet, but now I'm interning at like a beauty cosmetic
Hmm.
place. Yeah, doing like visual merchandising. So still touching like the design side a bit.
That's good. Good to get experience.
Yeah.
So, anyways, thank you so much for coming on. It's
Thank you
super
for having
chill.
me.
Take care and have a great
Yeah.
rest of the week.
You too. You too.
See you.
Seizing the opportunities that come to you. Because
Mhm.
like so far, I do feel like I'm quite lucky in the sense that things come into come to me when like I need it. But it's also just because like I'm ready to take the opportunity at that point in time and not like shackled down by like a concrete plan where I'll be like, oh, if I take this, I cannot follow this plan. It's because like my plan is so called so flexible. Like when they come, I can just go for it straight away.